Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who's going to help me give the rundown of all of Dwayne Johnson's sweating in his filmography. It's Aaron Neuwirth.
I'm here and I'm glistening with joy to be a part of this very important, very, very important episode.
Did you get the baby oil out?
Did I? I got the baby oil, I got the Vaseline, I got the cocoa butter. It's
The,
all here.
the Evian spray that you use? You're just loaded up. You're glistening. I thought about going for a bike ride and then taking a really hot shower, so I would just be flop sweating during this whole thing, but I couldn't do it. It wasn't that time of
I
day.
I almost did my workout before this because I'm like, oh, I got like 15 minutes, and then I'm like, I should probably do other things. But I could have been actively sweating while doing this podcast.
We should have gone full method. I think Dwayne would have approved of that. So, Aaron, the reason I asked you on for this episode is I'm fairly certain you've watched every Dwayne Johnson film at least once. Like you've watched some more than once. You kind of and you saw Red One, which is a bonus. But like you've watched
That's
all
what
of
we
his
call it. Yeah,
like
bonus, sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, is it better than Black Adam or Red Notice?
It's Red Notice is a garbage
Yeah, that's not
fire.
a movie.
So,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I think Black Adam is a better movie just by nature of what it's doing. Red One is like it's not good, but yes, it's a step. But it's just in his Red catalog, it's a step up. Sure.
He's done Red, Black, Red, and they've all not done well. He
Yeah, keep this
so
keep this man away from colors. That's what we're saying.
movies in the jungle and with fast in the title, good.
Yeah,
But also the
yeah,
rundown and Southland Tales. That's like I call it
yeah.
The South double header with Sean William Scott. Make another one. Make another one called the Rundown Under, or like
Oh boy, the run down under, wonderful. Oh my God, they go to Australia for some reason. Like, oh, I'd watch that in a heartbeat.
yeah,
Oh,
just
who's the villain in this?
so we
Who's
had
the villain in
Walken.
the run down under?
Okay, so Walken was huge. Like Anthony Hopkins.
Well, you go Australia, right? You get Crow in here.
Oh,
Crow as like he's basically like
whoa.
the rescuers down under villain. He's like after eagle eggs or whatever, but it's Russell Crowe.
Yes. Yeah. And they got to go get the eagle
They
egg.
tried to steal my eggs, eh?
They got to get the egg, the famed egg of Australia. And Russell Crowe's like, oi.
And replacing Ewan Bremner would be like Taika Waititi. Like we could nail this.
We need like Sam Weaving in here. She's
Oh yeah,
Australian, Brenheim.
she'd be the she'd replace the Rosario character. Yeah, we're nailing this.
Oh man.
We've already have two drafts.
Dude, the rundown
We,
under. That's the movie.
run down under. Oh my God, this is so good.
All right. So the this is a really odd topic, Aaron. I'm aware of it. Like how much is Dwayne Johnson sweat in all of his movies? And
No, because of all your normal topics on this podcast,
yeah, you're right.
this is the one that breaks the camel's back.
I've done Brad Pitt eating. I've done Tom Cruise running. I've done Vin Diesel sleeveless shirts. I made a movie for Adam Sandler, but like Dwayne Johnson sweats. Like I figured out how much he sweat in Fast Five by going out and doing yard work, and like I weighed my clothes before, then weighed them afterwards, and figure out the sweat levels. It was insane. But like, so I've had to for in 2018, I had to watch all of his movies and figure out how much destruction has happened in all of them. So I combed all of his films. And then for Rotten Tomatoes, his wrong podcast, I probably had to research the heck out of 10 of his films. For the versus thing with Mark Ellis on Rotten Tomatoes, we did Dwayne Johnson versus Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson versus Statham, Dwayne Johnson versus Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I had to go through all of his movies again and pull all of his data. So I've gone through this guy's filmography
Mm-hmm.
many times. I've watched the Fast and Furious movies many times, and I've covered a bunch of on movies, films, and flicks. And like, he's just his movies have just been on my radar for many years. And I've been watching his latest stuff. It's like really VFX heavy. And then I saw the picture for the Smashing Machine, which is like a Benny Safdie directed film based on this amazing 2003 documentary that I love. I'm a huge MMA guy, and like it's him sweating. So I kind of thought, ooh, a cheaper A24 film where he's sweaty and he's doing all these VFX movies. So then I went through his entire filmography, created sweat categories 1 to 11. I was initially 1 to 10, but it goes to
It
11.
just made sense. Yeah, he goes over the top.
And I figured out 5 movies that he's gone to 11. And in those 5 movies, the averages, they have higher tomato meter, letterbox, and Metacritic averages than all the other sweat categories. Critics and audiences like him more when he sweats on average. And also, like these 5 roles act as like pivots, and they like were really important for his career. And I think the Smashing Machine is going to be important for his career. Like he just had a GQ interview where he's like, I changed everything. I got to act, and like I love it. And it's very purposeful. Everything in his career is purposeful. But I just want to talk about these 5 movies and his career and like go through all that and go through my data because I got to get this out somewhere. I feel like I'm like, when Mitch Hedberg talks about, I don't know if you like, he's like, when I tell jokes, like, when you clog a hose, like when I clog up my mic and I let it loose, a bunch of jokes fly out. Like, I feel like I am that with Dwayne Johnson data and you're getting the brunt of it.
It certainly gives me a lot of joy to know that this kind of correlation is being made. Because like when I was a wee youngster back in 2011 when Fast Five came out, as we all were in a different time, we all saw the sweat. We all noticed it. We talked about it in the theater. We mumbled to ourselves. We were like, "This is like it's not just that he has this goatee and he's rocking an attitude. This man is like melting in front of us and yet stays in the same shape all the whole time." So the fact that we finally have like a definitive take based on your data, like that's not only is that important, it's God's
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. That means a lot. And
I do mean it. Jokes
like,
aside, I do mean it. The fact that like you've not only you've done the work and you've acknowledged a thing that we've like maybe observed but haven't like put too much thought into. The fact that you've come up with like real hard evidence for like what this represents in his career, awesome. I'm so down with this.
oh, this is amazing. And also too, it makes me happy that like his Under Armour, like his tagline for his Under Armour collaboration is blood, sweat, and respect. He
Yeah.
talks about like sweat equity. He's always sweating. He's like, you got to get up in the morning, you got to get after, you got to put in the work, you got to sweat. There's going to be heavy iron. There's going to be a lot of sweat. He says sweat twice in like 3 sentences. Like his entire like world is based around sweat, and his movies are sweaty. And so I kind of want to talk. Can we just talk about his 5 sweaty
Yeah.
films and like the pivots that like allowed him to kind of and why I think these films are really important for his career?
Let's do it.
Okay, so The Rundown is his first one, his first category 11 sweater. He had done Mummy Returns, not that sweaty. He had done the Scorpion King. He's
A
in
little
the desert.
sandy.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't sweat a lot. There's some sweat, but it's not 11 at all. But then you go to
He's
The Rundown. Whoa, we like he's sweating in the club when he's fighting people. He's sweating when he's leaving it. He's sweating afterwards. He's sweating in the plane. He's sweating in the jungle. He's sweating during the fights. Like he's just a ball of sweat.
key, a key factor right here is that in the Mummy Returns of Scorpion King, he's mostly shirtless. You know, he's
Yeah,
able to exfoliate. Like, he's able to like he might glisten, but like he's not being contained in any rundown. He's a professional man. He runs his own freelance business as a bounty hunter. What's he wearing? He's wearing designer suits most of that movie. So of course he's gonna be sweaty. Start beating up people. He's gonna perspire. It's gonna show. You can see it all over himself. And he gets to once you go to the jungle, forget about it. Right? He's taking off his jacket. He's taking off his fancy shirt. He's rocking just a white T-shirt for most of that movie, and yeah, he's gonna get sweaty going through all the jungle antics that he has to go through trying to catch Sean William Scott and take on Kato from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Like it's there's a lot of business there.
what a great movie.
Kino,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Ernie Reyes Jr.
Ernie Reyes Jr. Yes, Surf Ninjas Ernie Reyes Jr.
Oh, yeah, that's on sale for $5. I need to buy it.
Yeah,
I love that movie so much. I think I watched it concussed one time. That was when I was
what a
like,
memory.
yeah, that's let's grow up in Florida, folks. But so I just want to read you something. So Ebert, he wrote early in the rundown, The Rock enters the nightclub to confront some tough guys, and he passes Arnold Schwarzenegger on the way out. Have a good time, Arnold says. It's like he's passing the torch. Whether The
Mhm.
Rock will rival Schwarzenegger's long run as an action hero is hard to say, but on the basis of the rundown, he has a good chance. And what's interesting here is when Dwayne Johnson made this movie, he said that he stopped being The Rock and he became Dwayne The Rock Johnson because people within the industry were like, okay, I see you. Like, I see you, Dwayne. You watch Scorpion King and you're like, yeah, he's got charisma, but he's just a wrestler actor. So he took this movie and he was like, Peter Berg was his personal acting coach. He got to he's good and he has a lot of dialogue, and he and Sean William Scott are great, and he holds his own with Chris Walken, and like you can tell that he's trying, and he lost 20 pounds for the role because they said he was too big. And I just think like it really it was his first fresh film too. Like it had a 60% or higher score. It was his highest rated film on Rotten Tomatoes until 2011, until Fast Five. And it's like this was I don't know, this was the moment when audiences went, okay, he was fine in the other ones, he's great in the ring, but this dude can act. Like this guy has it. And I think when he talks about this, like there's an interview when he's saying like, yeah, the other movies I just kind of blabbled, I said a few lines. And with the rundown though, like, he's like, I acted and I I am a character. I'm not like just the Scorpion King. And I think it's probably his most important role to date. Like Scorpion King was good, but it had the IP. Like this movie didn't make a lot of money, but I think people still love it. Critics liked it, audiences like it. It's one of the highest rated films on all of the Letterbox, IMDb, and it's his first category 11. But I think it turned the tide for him as an actor.
I mean, yes, it's there's only a few roles in, so it's like it's
Yeah.
not like there was much of a dramatic shift here beyond he wants to be in movies. Let's let him keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say most important in the realm of if he doesn't do this, then he wouldn't be where he is. Perhaps. I mean, we'll get to some other movies that I think are obviously very important in his career also. But I do tend to rank this as one of his best performances because I do really like Bill Rendon. I like him in it. I like what he's trying to do here. And the kind of role he's playing, yes, I like that he does this a few times too, and is kind of before he becomes Hobbs, the way he approaches action, I think, is very interesting because it's not as traditional as you might think it is, some exceptions aside. Like Walking Tall's right after this. Walking Tall's just like that's a
Yeah, it's just
silly
a
remake
movie,
of
yeah.
Walking Tall. But like the rundown, his character's so like he's anti-gun, right? And he wants to be comedic to a point in a way that's effective. In the way that like Arnold makes it effective, where Arnold can be funny, but he's not trying to be funny, where I think Stallone, what he is, his problem is that I think Stallone thinks that he's funny and he's often not. And I think that's that's why that Arnold always I think succeeds better with the comedies than Stallone has. And I think Rock has that down too. They like he's a person that I think is aware of his body enough to turn that into a tool for comedy when it comes to other actors bouncing off him or what have you. But no, like yeah, in terms of like the scheme of things, along with the sweatiness, of course, for his career, yes, coming from like the Scorpion King roles, sure, it's a big step in a different direction because yes, he's not just playing monosyllabic guy or what have you, or just like a cinematic version of his Rock character from The Ring. Right now, he's playing a three-dimensional character who has hopes and dreams and
He
a
wants to cook.
backstory and what have you. So yeah, I mean, the Red certainly certainly hits this in this five. I get that for sure.
And listen, I know I went hard on the most important, but I liked the Scorpion King. I thought it was fun, but I was like, yeah, that was fine. Like, but I was like, Brock will be fine. But then I saw the rundown. I'm like, okay, like this is a good movie. Like the Scorpion King's fun, but like it's the Scorpion King. This is a good action film, and he's good in it. So I think I was like, okay, this guy, he's like, I watched wrestling back in the day too. So like I knew he was a star, but this one was like, okay, he can move beyond his persona, like he can be something different. And no, I don't know, but it's I think it's just an important one simply because he said his name went from The Rock to Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So he said that in an interview with the Boston Globe. And I think for him, that's important. So that's number one. That's one. And also too, like he gets his butt kicked by the guys. Like a baboon beats him up. He gets poisoned. He rolls down a hill almost as long as Hot Rod. Like he's not afraid to look silly in this movie, which is nice.
Which evolves. But yes,
Oh
it is
yeah,
nice.
dude,
It very much evolves.
Boy, does it evolve. And but you know what's interesting? You go through his career and you learn why he doesn't look silly anymore. Like you look at his choices and some flops, and he really, I think, went too careful. And it's kind of fun. Like when I read about Southland Tales, he's like, "This will never happen to me again." That was like a big turn. And then Faster didn't do quite well, and I think he was like, "Well, I don't want to do that R rate." It's just fun watching him kind of check things out or like cross things out of his career. But yeah, like so. Okay, so now the success of the rundown, he goes to Walking Tall. It's kind of sweaty. It doesn't do that great. Then he does Be Cool. He's fine in it. The movie is not good. He gets to dance and he's kind of cheeky and he sings and like whatever. Then he goes Doom, R-rated. He's the villain. The movie did not do well. He hates on it all the time. There's still some fun to it because it's a really nasty movie, and Richard Brake is just disgusting in it.
That sounds great, and if I could see Doom because it's so fucking dark, then I'd agree with you. But it's one of the darkest movies I've ever
Yeah.
seen. Darker than Alien vs Predator Requiem.
Oh yeah, it's not
Also,
good.
they hand him the BFG and he misses. So I'm like, like
Oh man, yeah, it was a bad movie. didn't do well. So he has 3 movies in a row, right? Walking Tall did fine. Be Cool didn't do great. Doom didn't do good.
Be Cool is interesting because Be Cool, that's like the most different from
Oh
anything you
yeah,
do,
yeah,
right? He's
yeah.
playing a gay like a gay bodyguard that wants to be an actor, right? Like that's his whole deal. And he's
Hmm.
super. This is like the 2000s too, between this and like Get Smart, where he's really thin. Like Get Smart, we'll talk about. He's super thin in that movie. But like he's like lost a lot of weight, so he's like he looks just decidedly. He still looks like The Rock, but it's like you think of The Rock now, it's like it's a big guy. You look at him and Be Cool or some of these other like mid 2000s one, it's like eh, seems like he's eating a lot more salads lately. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Be but
he
but
got
like Be Cool,
lean.
and he has hair, right? He has like a little
Yep.
afro going on and Be Cool. It's such a weird like because that was a big disappointment because I'm such a big fan of Get Shorty, and it's like oh man, like what happened here? This is all bad. But he's the most interesting one of the most interesting things in it, so he's got that going for him there. But it didn't move the needle on him. But yeah, yeah.
But like, yeah, he was the best part of a bad movie, I think.
Yes.
Like, and
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn, you watch it again, you're like, holy mackerel, like what is happening? And then he does Gridiron Gang, which he's on like a football field all the time, and he never sweats, and it has a high IMDb score. People seem to like it, but once again, it just didn't make a lot of money, and it just didn't move the needle for him. It's like his
That
career, like, oh,
that's
what's
the
up?
kind of movie where you kind of you just take it as a given. It's like, yeah, Gridiron Gang, that was a fine 6, 7 out of 10, whatever. It was good. But you
Yeah,
don't really but you never think about it again. Like, it's by no means a bad sports movie, but you're not sitting there being like, I definitely need to recall this all the time whenever I talk about sports movies.
like on the scale of memorable football movies, it's not Remember the Titans or like or anything like that. It's just you're right. It's good. It's a guess. I watched it again. I'm like I like this movie, but yeah, I haven't thought about it since I just talked about it now with you. But what I think is interesting, like he had Walking Tall, Be Cool, Doom, Gridiron Gang. None of those did especially well. So like he kind of needed to reset. So he's like, I need to do a Disney movie, and I need to, because my kids, I got to watch it with my kids. And then so he does the game plan where he plays this really jerky football player who gets a kid dumped on his lap, but he gets like incredibly sweaty in it, and he gets really like, you watch this movie now, and he gets like I wrote here, he cries, dances, sings, sweats, reads, and sings like more. Like he's like you could feel the flop sweat coming off this guy making this film, but it was his first $100 million grossing film that wasn't an action film. It created a relationship with Disney, and I think it boosted his box office for a while. It sent him down kind of a dark corridor in his career, but I think he
Well, it's because
needed that.
he tries to replicate it from there. He's like, well, this worked, so I might as well keep doing that. There is no problem with that logic because you do what works, right? People like seeing me in a lighter role in something more family friendly because more audiences can see me, but I still get to be the tough guy. I'm still the Rock, right? And
Yeah.
the game plan is a perfectly cromulent film. It's the thing that all the big guys do, except for Jason Statham. You have whether it's your Kindergarten Cop or
Hmm.
all the fucking Stallone movies that he did, where he tried to make that work, or The Pacifier, or The Spy Next Door. All these guys do one of these movies. What Hulk Hogan has like 6 of them.
Yeah.
Um,
Suburban Commando.
Suburban Commando, Ben. What's the other one? There's the
Oh,
Mr.
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 Nanny.
Nanny, of
Oh
course.
gosh, yeah.
And for the most part, not all of them, but most they're generally successful to some degree, especially if they're Disney produced, because Disney has the marketing and the budget to make it at least look fine.
Hmm.
So you look at the game plan, it's like, yeah, I get it. I get what that move is, and it worked for him. But it sends you down a corridor, and sends him to the nadir of his career
Gee,
eventually. Sure.
but he needed it, right? Like I think after
Yeah,
those
no, yeah,
those
oh
films,
yeah.
like he
After the darkness, you go into something like this, and it's like, yeah, this makes a level of sense. And even when I'm questioning it, because I'm like, how could he did the rundown in 2003, and I'm sitting there throughout the 2000s, being like, why is he not taking up where are all the action movies with The Rock? Why am I not seeing these? Right? It's not happening. And we'll get to another movie where it finally does kind of kick into gear, but it's like, where'd he go? What's he doing?
he I think he was trying to prove to everyone that he was like everything, and he was trying to play the game. And yeah, we'll get to it. But yeah, game plan, like, but he sweats so hard. Like the sweatiest he's ever been is in this movie after the ballet thing. And what's interesting too, like he's a football player, but all those other movies that we talked about, they're action movies, like The Pacifier, Suburban Commando. They're all like cops or agents watching kids. This one, he's just a football player who gets a kid. Like,
Sure.
like
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting that he went that route, and like I think it was just really important for his career. Like I do. But it was good and bad. And then so after that movie, he goes and makes the game plan, and it's a success. Makes over $100 million. But then he goes and he does Southland Tales, which the con screening is epic. You got to read about that. Get Smart, that was a success, but he was he was just a minor character in it, but he was still funny. He was good. But it was kind of weird watching him be a side character in a movie because I think that's kind of where he was in his career. And then he popped up in Race to Witch Mountain, which his shirt is really sweaty, but he's never sweaty. So I didn't put it into an 11 category. Then he did Tooth Fairy, which is oofta, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yo. And then the other guys, he's great in that, but he's not in it much. He's great, but that's not his movie. I think he was just playing with his persona. And then he followed that up with Faster, which I like, but it just didn't work. But he was trying something different, and then that didn't work. And what's interesting? Like after that movie, he got rid of his management. He put on a ton of weight. He started working out heavy again. He like shaved his head. He's like, because he was growing hair. Like you watch Tooth Fairy in those movies, he has some big hair. Shaved his hair, had a huge tattoo, had a huge goatee. When he was on Fast, like so, his next big film, his category 11 film was Fast Five, and on that film, he told us the like makeup people just let me sweat. I just want to sweat. Like, just let me sweat. And Vin and him had been talking about making it for years, according to Dwayne Johnson. And like this is the movie that sent him into the stratosphere because after like, not a decade, but like 8, 9, like yeah, almost a decade of being in movies, he was like, no, I'm gonna get huge and just be a badass. Like I'm not gonna do this crap anymore. And I think
Just
this is the movie that sent him in the stratosphere.
just to backtrack a bit with Faster I was really looking forward to because, like you're saying, I wanted to see The Rock embrace being an action star. That doesn't mean I need him to make, just bad action movies, but I wanted to like, okay, I like what this is giving me. Let's see what this is. The problem with Faster is that it gave like the 2/3 that I wanted to see were present in the marketing, where it's him and it's what Billy Bob, right? Billy
Yeah.
Bob's the other, and I was like, cool, I like this. Then the movie you watch, you're like, oh, they hid this other thing, which is like the assassin guy that's played by the Invisible
Uh,
Man,
yeah.
and I'm like, I don't like any of this. This is all bad. Like, and so you have 2/3 of a movie that I'm like enjoying, and they really played that. What's the song they play? How you like me now? They play that song,
Oh
right? That,
gosh,
that that
yeah.
was like the refrain of the movie, like at least for the trailer. I forget if it's actually in the movie or not, but it could be. But boy, like I so wanted that to be a thing, and it just didn't work out. And it's coming after the other guys, where yes, it's part small, but him and Sam Jackson have one of the funniest things I've
Oh
seen in
man.
movies in
Aim for the bushes.
since Aim for the Bushes, exactly. Like that destroyed me. Like he's made whole comedies that don't have laughs, but that one gag destroyed me for like 2 decades. So it's like that's really special stuff. By the way, if I don't know if you're keeping count of this, he worked with Carlo Gugino like multiple times
Yeah,
throughout
three
this whole
times.
period. Yeah.
Race to Witch Mountain, and then he does San Andreas, and then Faster.
And Faster. There's a lot of Gugino going on in here, who I'm a fan of. I like Carlo Gugino, so it's like this is nice. It's
Yeah,
like one of his people. People will say Kevin Hart, but like, yeah, but his Carlo Gugino chemistry is off the charts too. Like,
so I'm glad they had retribution with San Andreas because like Race to Witch Mountain and Faster weren't huge. Like San Andreas was big. So I'm glad that their story got, a nice end of the trilogy for
Ra-
that.
Race to Witch Mountain. It's such a.
Oh gosh.
I remember seeing the trailer for that and being like, because I know the race to, because that's like a whole thing. There's been so many Race to Witch Mountain. That's a whole fucking franchise, the Race to Witch Mountain series. And so I'm like, oh, they're doing another one of these, and it's The Rock. He plays a cab driver. Okay,
Yeah.
that's such a weird pivot.
It was desperate. Like it was tough. It was tough watching him in this phase. And so what's interesting? A lot of people say that so I'm talking about Fast Five next. That's his next
Yeah,
11. That's his third one. He gained 30 pounds of weight for it. He shaved his head.
it shows.
But what's interesting? He still lost the fight to Vin Diesel in it. Like when he fights Dom, he loses. So like he's the big badass action star, but he still has enough. He still has enough like lack of ego to lose to the main star of this franchise, which is
Well,
awesome to watch.
he has enough ego to let Diesel be the lead of the movie because he
Yeah,
is.
that's
Like,
true.
and the way that fight goes, like Rock basically wins, and then Diesel's like, "You're flirting my family. Let me pick up like a 2x4 or a concrete thing or so." He gets more violent, right? That's how. Now, all that
Oh,
said, he like I'm saying this as if I'm arguing against Diesel, and I'm not because I'm very pro Diesel. in most ways. But I think there's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
things
yeah,
about
yeah.
him that get overblown. But regardless, um, he does. They come to like in the same. I think with like Hobbs and Shaw, they come to the same kind of we can't both win or lose, so we'll come to sort of agreements. And Fast Five feels like a sure one side kind of won, but it seems like a kind of an asterisk on that fight.
It just hasn't happened since. So it's kind of nice that he's still there in his career, right? Like he,
Well, I mean, if you really want to talk about like like fights or not, the thing with Fast Five that I love about Hobbs, this is the best version of Hobbs.
yeah,
Every version after this is not as good as what the Fast Five
he's
Hobbs gives you.
mean,
Because he's mean. He has that great bit of
tank.
business where he's saying like all his things, do this, do that, and one last thing, stay the fuck out of my way. It just and then he tops it later on when like the what Thor's wife, what's her name? What's her name?
Elsa.
Elsa when she like gives him some files and he's like, you know what I think? And he like rips it in half, throws it away. Like it's the best. He's just so, like it's so aggressively alpha. It's ridiculous. It's just like a perfect embodiment of what like ultimate Tommy Lee Jones, but like from The Fugitive, but like super like buff and like just won't stop tracker guy. I love this role. This is one of my other favorite during the Walk Johnson roles because he's just such a giant imposing force in this thing that everything he does is just like it's so over the top, it's so ridiculous, but he makes it work. Like this is like he won't get enough credit ever for the acting that he's doing in this movie, but he absolutely deserves it because this is not who The Rock is. Like
Yeah.
you look at The Rock, it's like this is not that guy. That's why the Hobbs that we see later on, he becomes more and more The Rock, and it's like okay, that's fine. He's charismatic, but that's not the Hobbs that we found in Fast Five, which is a true, like, just a gem of a performance. And yes, incredibly sweaty. Oh, but
Yeah.
like he's wearing so much black in that movie, so you could really just see the sweat all over him too.
And overall, it's his sweatiest film. Game Plan has a sweatiest moment, but this is a sweatiest film. And also,
That
too,
tracks. Yeah.
it's still his highest rated film on Letterboxd. It's still his highest rated film on IMDb. It's one of his highest films on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it has a 7.3 on IMDb. It cracks like it's not at 4
Higher
yet,
than
but
Furious 7.
yeah, and like the letterbox score is about like 3.3, I think, and so 3.6. So it's the highest letterbox film that he has. I have the numbers right here.
I
It's
mean, it
like,
makes
yeah,
sense. Like
3.4.
Fast Five is like for like mainstream action movies, it's one of the best action movies of the 2010s,
Uh,
easily. Like
yeah, I agree.
it's a real just fantastic action film. You can say what you want about the Fast and Furious franchise. Fast Five is one where even people that aren't like super in on the family, I think legitimately can say that's a good movie. Like
It's
it
like the
does the
Wrath of
job.
Khan of and like Voyage Home of the OG Star Trek
Sure.
films. Does that make sense? Like the most accessible for people?
It's very accessible for sure. That's why it became a monster hit that led to more monster Fast and Furious hits.
And so it made over 600 million. So the rundown was his kind of highest rated film for about 8 years. And then like his starring role for Dwayne Johnson, like a Dwayne Johnson movie. And then the game plan was the first movie, like PG film, non like action film to crack 100 million. And Fast Five just broke everything. Like Fast Five sent him in the stratosphere. But what's really interesting is after that run that he had, like so like he really did. Like he went and made Journey 2, which made a bunch of money, but then he made Snitch, which did fine, and that's a good movie, but it
It's a good
didn't, yeah,
performance from him, but it's a thoughtful performance from him.
good, but not a lot of sweat. Didn't make a lot of money,
Yeah,
but
he's in a
it,
truck. He's air conditioned truck
yeah.
for a lot of the movie.
And then he has what, GI Joe
Yeah,
Retaliation.
to retaliation. At this point, he's like, this is where he becomes franchise Viagra, right? That's where
Yeah,
they
exactly.
give him the nickname franchise Viagra at that point.
And
Where
like
he hops into random franchises, becomes the lead of them, and like makes more money for the movie.
just yeah, he's franchise Viagra at this point. That's why I think when he does Pain and Gain for like a $25 million budgeted R-rated Michael Bay film that is nasty, like he grills a hand. He actually put on weight for this role after putting on weight for Fast Five.
He's so big.
He's
Pain and
huge.
Gain. He
He,
is the Hulk.
he,
He's so big.
he's gigantic. After making it, he said that no one's going to see me play a borderline psychopath villain, suffer from depression ever again. In the recent article, he's like, I don't know who the fuck that guy was, but like, I think the importance of this role, that his fourth film that goes to 11, it proved he still had an edge. It's his best performance. he took back end on this movie, and this movie only made 80 million. Like Wahlberg, all these guys, Mackie, they all took back end to make this movie because it was such a low budget.
It's a
But
small Michael Bay movie, yes.
and like, Johnson said the biggest departure for me was a vulnerability, showing this type of vulnerability and playing a character who was easily influenced and just out of prison and looking for salvation. And like, the neighborhood watch scene's hilarious. Like he grills a hand, he gets his toe shot off. Like it's his best performance. And when you add up the numbers, it's his best R-rated movie. It has the highest tomato meter score. And so of Doom, Empire State, Baywatch, which is horrible. Faster, Southland Tales, Pan and Gain. It has the highest tomato meter, letterbox, IMDb. The highest box office is Baywatch, which is hurts. But Pain and Gain has the best ROI. Like overall on the numbers, it's his best performance, and it's like the best of R-rated films. But he, after doing this and after only making 80 million, he like vowed to never be this guy again. And I think that's an interesting choice. So it's his best role. But like, Southland Tales didn't do well. Doom didn't do well. Baywatch didn't do like I think he's like Faster didn't do well. So I think he was done with kind of serious villain idiot roles for a while, at least R-rated ones. But the reason I think it's important is because it's his best performance by far.
I agree that it's his best performance. I do get curious, like, because I know his logic of, at least in the like this kind of 2015 and on period where he's like just a megastar to a degree. His logic tends to be, I want to do what's right for the audience, right? I want to make a movie where the audience walks out happy. And Pain and Gain's not that, at least
Yeah.
not in that kind of way. Not for his fans or all of his fans, for some of his fans, right? It's a much darker experience, and he's a terrible person in that movie. I do wonder if it's just that, or if there's like a part of it, like I don't know, like what The Rock's spirituality is, or what have you, like what he tries to practice or whatnot, if he lets that kind of thing affect the roles he takes. But regardless, him choosing not to do that kind of role again, that's I don't necessarily have an issue with that because there's a lot of kinds of roles you can play that allow you to
Mm-hmm.
do the things you want to do. The issue that I think becomes a problem for him is not only is he not doing something that's specifically challenging like that for a good long stretch, but he's only doing things that really aren't that challenging.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, there are good movies in here. We'll still talk about other movies in here. And there are ones that do play with his image, like the Jumanjis, for
Mm-hmm.
example. But in terms of seeing him really kind of wrap himself around a role that has a character that has certain kinds of complexities, that match what Pain and Gain's doing, even if it doesn't achieve that same kind of darkness. I feel like he could have done that if he wanted to. He just chose not to, which is a shame because, like, as you can see from something like Pain and Gain or some of these other ones before that, he has a certain amount of range. Like, I'm not going to say The Rock's the best actor or this untapped potential that we've yet to see, but there's a way he can operate that I think is very strong in the same way that other actors that generally do a lot of the same thing, but sometimes just tilt that a little bit to the left, and you suddenly see a new kind of dimension on it. It's there. He has something. You don't become this kind of a star without having some level of talent. So it's like he has the potential to do stuff. So it's like, and certainly I'm curious about the MMA movie. But it's a shame that Pain and Gain was like, I can't do this anymore for a good long while, even given the success that he's had.
The reason I love that this is an 11 film is he didn't really have to do this, and he did it, and he's great in it. And then I think he went, well, I want audiences to get something else out of my movies. I want them to be 4-quadrant films. This is not a 4-quadrant film. So then he went and did what? Furious 7. He did San Andreas. He did Central Intelligence, which he's really good in, not sweaty. Then he went to move. Then he did like
I guess Moana
Fate of
after
the
that. I
Furious
mean,
and Moana.
I know we're not, it's voice roles, but like Moana's that's
You're
putting
welcome. What a
it's putting a surefire stamp on his, friendly persona for sure. Like
gr-
people
great
know him.
voice role. And I tried to see if he was sweat in the voice recorder room so I could include it with the 11 category, but he didn't. So I'm kind of bummed. Baywatch, he's great. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, he's great. But
Hold on,
here's
wait, let's not say things we can't take back.
oh,
Baywatch
it's
is a
fun.
terrible movie.
Oh no, no, Baywatch. Oh, I'm sorry. Baywatch is one of the worst films I've ever seen in my life. It's not a movie.
All right.
I dislike it
And
more than
you're
Red.
guys, listeners, you're hearing Mark Hoffmeyer, jet ski proponent, say that in a
Yeah,
movie about Baywatch. And yeah, it's a terrible
like
thing.
Baywatch is worse than Red Notice. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I would say yes, just because I feel like there was the potential to do something that was 21 Jump Street level fun with Baywatch, and they didn't achieve that at all. Instead, they made something that's ungodly long because it's super long and just fails in every single capacity. Like Red
Yeah,
Notice, I'm just like, this movie's terrible, but like
It filmed during
It's a
COVID and
it's a
like
that is that I've seen plenty of great movies filmed during COVID. It's more it's a Netflix thing that like it doesn't have. It's not like the bar is there for me to be like, well, I hope it reaches this level. It's like no, that was always going to be whatever. Baywatch is like there was potential there to do something fun with that, but instead it's not that. It's the opposite. So
I died in the first few minutes inside when the guy gets his balls stuck in a chair. I'm like, I hate this movie. But yeah, so that's not great. He's good in Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. That was a huge hit. But here's the problem: like he had Baywatch, Jumanji, he had Fate of the Furious, he had Rampage. And I remember when Skyscrapers, which is his fifth, 11th category film, came out, it didn't do that well. And he got a lot of backlash for playing a guy with, like a prosthetic.
did he?
Yeah, like so, like somebody wrote open letters about him, like why is he cast in it, and he had to like defend it, and he made visits
Why
to
is
like
he
places.
casted it? Like it's a movie he developed. Like it's not like he stole the role. Like that's he gave himself this on purpose, which I thought was I thought that like Skyscraper is a movie I find decidedly to be okay. It's the kind
Yeah,
of movie where it has all the ingredients to be a fun Die Hard riff, except it forgets all of the quirks of Die Hard. Like it's not just the fact that terrorist building hero, it's Al Jung snatches a candy bar while waiting for the people
yeah,
for the FBI guys to come in, or it's
and also
ball your feet. It has like the little stuff that makes that movie like really memorable. Skyscraper is just very clean by uh by comparison. With the exception of The Rock, yes, giving himself a thing to play with, which is he has a prosthetic leg, which I think is a really interesting choice for him.
what's interesting too. Die Hard, McClane's an idiot. Like McClane is just he's an idiot, but in this one, he's just like the nicest dude. So you're kind of just watching this really nice dude with a great wife survive things. Like he doesn't have
I see
much
what
of an
you're
edge.
okay. You mean like he's stubborn and he's a guy he's a New York gruff guy and skyscraper he's like yes he has a dramatic backstory. He's like I couldn't save this family during a bombing or like he walks into the movie being like the best. Like he
Yeah,
had one accident that really wasn't his fault, but otherwise I'm the fucking best at my job. Like I'm smart, I'm capable, I have one leg and I'm still better than everybody else. Like yeah, I get what
yeah.
you're saying for sure. It's not
Uh,
a lot to challenge him in terms of the arc of his character.
and like the end of the film, what's different about this one is he's on top of a skyscraper with his daughter crying, like waiting for death. He's Toy Story 3 in himself, and like Nev Campbell saves him. And what's interesting about this movie? It didn't do too well. It did good overseas. It didn't really cost that much. But like it's like between 2016 and 2016 and 2018, he was in a major role in 7 films. And then since then, he's just played a major role in 6 in the last 5 years. So like I think he purposely slowed his output out after watching this. But it's 11 category film. Like he really tried something. I think he's like, oh, I'm gonna I'm gonna give myself this prosthesis. Like my wife is gonna save me. I'm not gonna be the super stud, even though he is, and he does the longest jump in cinema history. Mick C probably would have jumped further in Rain of Fire, but he got eaten by a dragon. But it's like a different role, and I don't think it did well. And if you know what's interesting though, so he was like kind of
I'm thinking too hard about the jump thing now because like
oh
if
I
I
did
don't
the
I,
math.
well because well no not that I think if because I don't know if it would count but like in Man of Steel Henry Cavill before he can fly he does like a big jump right because he doesn't know how
Oh,
to fly yet
non-powered.
but he's not
Yeah.
human so that's a difference there but anyway
And like after I mean it was fun. I did the math and like I was like I think this might be the longest jump in cinema history. That's clean, except if they would have kept the moment from Cliffhanger while Stallone jumps across like a mountain. It was in the trailer but not in the film. That would have been
uh
number one. But Rennie said he showed it to audiences and they're like, this is stupid. So he took it out. But it would have been Stallone, but now it's Dwayne Johnson. But after this, he went and did like Hobbs and Shaw, where he's the ultimate badass. Like he did Jumanji, where he's a video game character. Jungle Cruise, he's immortal. Red Notice, he's just the ultimate badass. Black Adam, he's like the ultimate dude. In Red One, he's like a security guard. So he's quite. I haven't seen Red One yet, but the rest of his films after Skyscraper, he's kind of infallible. And they're all like, they're all
Red One is that way too his major problem is he's lost his Christmas cheer that's his issue in that movie.
and they're all sweat free. Some of them did well, some of them didn't. I think his last three though, like Red Notice, Black Adam, Red One, like I think that's why the Smashing Machine is going to be an 11, and it's going to reset his career. Just like the rundown People took him seriously. Game Plan reset his career. Fast Five reset his career, made him huge. Skyscraper, it was a misfire, but he tried. Like he tried something different. And then I think that's why I think Smashing Machine is going to be big. But like, yeah, so you go through these movies, and I did all the categories, and like, the average for his major Sweat movies are like 55.2. The Letterbox average is 2.9. The IMDb average for his big Sweat movies is 6.5. Whereas like his other films, it's like somewhere around 6.1 for all of his movies. Like there's just a big jump there. And I don't know, like Fast Five has the highest IMDb scores, and Letterbox. Game Plan was his first non-action film to clear 100 million worldwide. Rundown was his first film with a fresh tomato meter score. Like it was only his third. But I mean, I just think they don't make that much money. Their average is only 249 million. So it's like he doesn't make too many of them, because I think they just need to, like, as a palate cleanser. Yeah.
It's interesting. I know you got all right, but because like San Andreas is his biggest movie as far as him starring in him. Like him, the whole thing is his, right? It's not him co-starring with anybody. It's Andreas. Like as far as an original film goes, especially there hasn't been many original films since that have made the amount of money that San Andreas had. But it's not really a sweaty movie either, and it's not even one that really reflects any real turn in his career, right? It's just like, yes, yeah, it was a big hit for The Rock that summer. Black Adam, I feel like is a weird inverse of the thing you're saying, where it's, if anything, a kind of a dejection of Hollis' deal, right? Because he's at that point it's Black Adam, something he's been working on for like nearly over a decade, trying to get that going. It finally happens. People don't like it. It underperforms, and it pretty much ruins the DC universe as we know it. And they have to reset. Like, and you can make an argument. The whole superhero movie thing in general kind of teeters out. It's like, I think we're done with this. It feels like that's kind of where we're like, there's hits here and there, but it The Rock, you could argue, may have imploded the whole superhero business. there's a in a longer discussion we can kind of get into that, but it feels like it's the exact. And this is also like his behind the scenes dealings, trying to like start to run
Yeah.
DC himself. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot there that is. Where people seem to be trying to gloss over, be like, yeah, he's gonna, be a smashing machine, and he'll use Man of the Year, because, and he's got Moana 2 and Red One. Like, between some of the stories that came out and whatnot, and I do think The Rock is a genuinely very nice person. I don't doubt that, but when you have to be this kind of person, think there's choices being made by you or your team that like sometimes reflect poorly. And it feels like Black Adam's this weird spot in there that goes in the opposite direction of everything you're saying, as far as these kind of pivotal points in his career that really reflect something major taking place.
Oh, yeah. It blew him up, didn't it? Like the
It blew,
Sweat. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Like he went away for a bit after Black Adam. Like Black Adam was 2022. You know, we're in 2024. Like he hasn't had a movie. Like he's done other things. He's been around. He doesn't. He's the kind of guy that's on social, so that he's doing something. But outside of a Fast X cameo, he hasn't been around since Black Adam. He stayed on the low for a little bit there.
He needed to. And then,
Yeah,
peeing in Voss water bottles. And I think Red One's not going to do well. Moana 2 will do great. And I think when this one comes out next year, with the hype and people talking about it, I don't know. I just think it's going to be a really good palate cleanser for him. So yeah, if Black Adam was sweatier, it would work out well too. But I
here's the
like
thing.
the
It's
way
not a very sweaty movie.
I like the way this worked out though. Like I just think his 5 sweatiest performances are really, like, there's other movies that are important for his career. Like Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle was great, but he didn't need it. Like it was just good. Central Intelligence showed he had another angle, but I don't think he needed that hit. Like I think he needed Game Plan. I think he needed Fast Five. Like I
No,
think
I
he's gonna
completely get
need
what you're
Smashing
saying.
Machine. But yeah, dude, this was awesome. Thank you for joining me, man.
Yeah, for sure. Happy to hop on into some rock talk.
And also, I guess I join. You can listen to Aaron Out Now with Aaron and Abe. I'm a frequent guest on it. I've done a bunch of commentaries with him,
Mm-hmm.
and you're probably one of my favorite movie critics too, man. So make sure to read his stuff.
I
It's true.
appreciate that. Yeah.
It's true. And then where can people read you? Read your reviews.
Yeah, I'm the editor in chief at We Live Entertainment, WeLiveEntertainment.com. You can find all my reviews over there. And I'm on all the socials at Aaron's PS4. So everything I do is somewhere. So yeah.
And it's nice. I sent him my article to read, a rough draft, just to read it. Like I wasn't even done with it. But when you have an editor in chief friend, he's like, "Yeah, man, I edited it. It's cool." Like I wasn't even looking for that. I was like, "Yeah, man, it's just rough. Like take a look, see if it makes sense." And then I'll have a nicely edited.
To be fair, it was like I made a dramatic overhaul, but it was a draft. So I'm like, okay, I can not only can I read this, I can make little things here and there. So it's fine. But it's a good read. I'm
Oh,
glad to be on the companion piece to that article.
oh man, this is awesome. And hey, thank you so much for joining me, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All
Happy
right.
to.
All right. So
Well,
for me, Mark. Oh, sorry.
we'll reconnect on the Vin Diesel train whenever we get back there at some point.
I mean, yeah. I stopped doing my Bloodshot yearly episode. I might have to start that back up.
There was a Bloodshot yearly episode.
Yeah,
Man, the pandemic really hurt you.
we did 3 of them, and then the news came out. We're like, well, we can't do this anymore. So then we talked about, I don't know, I forget what we talked about. Malignant, because that movie's great. But yeah, man. Well, thank you for joining me. So for me, Mark Hoffmeyer, for Aaron Neuwirth, this is Movie Stones and Flicks. We'll see you next week.